I am live. Why am I moving the laptop? Move my face. Whoo, just a few minutes behind. Just a few minutes behind. Let me set up the polls for you guys. Let me check this out. Ooh, it has been a week, you guys. So while everyone's coming in, I'm just going to set these polls up. Don't mind me. I have some polls here that I took note, and I want to make sure. Let me try this. Creating the poll. Hopefully I have no spelling mistakes. All right, I'm creating the poll has been created. Sorry I'm a little behind, you guys. Let me check the sound to make sure you can actually hear me and everything is clear and it's looking all right, because sometimes the vision has been black, and I've been like talking and I'm like not knowing what's going on, and so very soon. Oh, can't stand the commercials. All right, let me go. Let's see. Okay, sound is good. We are here. We are live. We are available. We're ready. Okay, that is great news. Oh, let me check the description. Make sure that is accurate as well. Yep, I think that is accurate. All right. Everything is there. Title is good. Oh, let me actually edit the title. So you guys, because if you remember, in the post, we talked about doing a weekly forecast. So let's see if we can do that. Let's start off with that. As people come in and see if you guys like the vibes, we'll keep it up and we'll see. We'll see how things go. All right. So excited to be here. It has been a week. Definitely the vibes of Jupiter in Cancer. I've seen so many people, and this is not a criticism or anything, I've seen so many people talk about how much smoother and nicer it is. Anyone I've talked to has said that this has been wild. And I want to keep in mind that we do also have that Uranus square Mars going on this week. And anytime those two planets come together, it is unpredictable city. Okay. And I just finished the first reading for July, going to get started on another one. And during that reading, only reason I mention is because during that reading, I talked about how the effects of like Neptune going into Aries has brought my dreams back. And it's brought, with the combination of Uranus and Mars aspecting, it's brought some nightmares back too. And literally, I jumped out of bed this week and fell on the floor. It was wild. So I actually injured my back here, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. This week has been one thing after the other. So hopefully this week wasn't as bad for you guys, or wasn't as unexpected, but it was a lot this week. It was one of those weeks where I was just like, let me just sit. Let me just sit down somewhere and wait this energy out. So that's where it was for me. But let me know how this week has been for you. I wouldn't be surprised if it was all over the place, if it was busy, if there was things that were unexpected. I can definitely say this felt like 5 weeks in one. Like there was just so much going on. Like I'm looking back at the beginning of this week and I'm like, that was still this week. But tell me how your week has been. Tell me how your week has been. Don't forget to, answer the polls. They only limit the answers. They limit the answers. So I can't list all the different styles that I want to throw in there. If you guys don't know, even though I dress very like plain and stuff on camera, like I'm a fashionista girly. I love clothes. So that would be my answer to that question. I'm going to choose fashion unless it's work. And then it's obviously going to be business. But that's where it's at. So as we have people come in, let's start with the weekly forecast. I'm going to shuffle. The cards are already getting ready. Let me make sure that these are the right direction, though, because I had just finished using them for a reading. So they may be a little bit like all over the place. But yeah, just come on in, answer the polls. Let me know how this week has been for you. The first week of Jupiter in Cancer. Also in Vedic astrology, Jupiter has gone into Ardra today. If you don't know what Ardra is, it is the nakshatra known as the raindrop. I did a post on it a while ago on my Instagram, which I really need to update more. But Ardra is essentially known as the teardrop because it represents a lot of hard work, which connects to, sweat. And then it also represents the longing, the sense of nostalgia. You might often see Ardra people even say that, man, they cannot stand the feeling of nostalgia because it's such a powerful emotion for them. And there's this recognition because Ardra is in sort of this, it's in the sign of Gemini in Vedic astrology. So it represents like the birthplace of like the mind, the logical mind. And memories as a result of it. So it deals a lot with our memories, deals a lot with reflection, deals a lot with the past and reminiscing and the understanding that things always change. They always develop, they always grow, they always move in new directions. And so there, for some people, there may even be a strong feeling of nostalgia and the good old days and walking down memory lane and this feeling of the world sort of changing rapidly and passing you by. Ardra can definitely talk about those circumstances. Also with Ardra, I kind of look at it as like the genie nakshatra. And I know, I think Claire Nakti did a video where she was talking about how Uttara Falguni is connected to genies. I found that as well, but I have found Ardra to be more connected, especially when it comes to the giving nature. It's kind of like a little bit of a wish fulfillment, nakshatra. Ardra people are known for being the most giving. So you may even find that this time you have some wishes come true, maybe even wishes that you've had since childhood. I'm just talking and shuffling here. But don't forget to answer the polls. Let me know how your week has been. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of the vibes of Ardra. So also you may even find yourself connecting with people from the past. I know that's already happened for me, where I've had to reconnect with someone, which I never thought I would speak to ever again. So that could be happening. It's happened to friends I've talked to. And there's also a sense of glamour. So there is that. All right, let's shuffle these cards and let's get into the weekly forecast as we have people wait to come in. And let's see where we're at next week. What are the vibes for next week? Let's see what's going on. Oh, whoa. Guys, you'll never guess the card. You'll never guess the card. 9 of Cups. Did I not just say Ardra is a little bit of a wish-filled nakshatra? So this upcoming week, and it's lovely here, with this Nine of Cups energy. This is the after tarot deck. You can see this person is being served, showing that they don't really have to do much. And they look a little bit, they're excited about their meal. And they look like they are being very, very, what's the word for it? I guess greedy it looks like, but it's not a bad card, right? There are times in our life where we can be greedy with things. We can be overindulgent, and we can just need a moment to fulfill our own wishes, to make our dreams come true, and just to solely focus on ourselves. So next week, it looks as though there may be even some moments where you have some wish fulfillment, some dreams come true, some possibilities that you have been hoping and longing for to connect and actually actualize for you when it comes to things that are going on. You may even feel as though you are being serviced by others in a way where you feel that people are being more helpful, more generous, more like they are offering assistance towards you, because we have this Nine of Cups on the after tarot deck. This person is very, very comfortable. They have everything they could dream of. They have water, they have their food, they have this being serviced energy to them. They have their own, look here, like their own private booth. And that is very important to mention, because the Nine of Cups has to do with more so self-fulfillment, like what we were just talking about here. The Nine of Cups is not about someone else's dreams come true, or even sharing dreams and having that being something that is a group mindset, right? It's not a universal happiness. It's a personal happiness. And so some of us will have a lot of personal happiness and fulfillment as we go into the next week. Additionally, I've mentioned this a billion times, Nine of Cups is the food card. And so it's the card of just wanting to indulge yourself in that way. So next week, that may be a thing for a lot of you astronauts, wanting to just say, hey, I don't even care about no diet, no calories, nothing. I just want to eat what I want to eat, and drink what I want to drink, and whatever, and have a good time. This can also represent just doing whatever it is that you want to do that brings you a sense of emotional fulfillment. So there is some sort of wish coming true for a lot of you astronauts this week. So that is something I want to say when it comes to the weekly look ahead. And let's throw in another card here while we wait for those to come in. Oh, this card wants to come out. The Six of Wands, you guys. It is a little reverse, but as I've mentioned before, the Six of Wands reverse is not bad. It's like I'm winning in unexpected ways. Like I had intended to run the race like everyone else and get to the finish line and be the victor. But what happens is, maybe somebody wins the race, but then they end up being someone who cheated, right? And so you were the runner up, and now because of this person cheating, you've won, right? So it's like winning in unexpected ways and circumstances going your way that you did not expect to happen the way that they happen, right? There's a little bit of unexpectancy, but overall, it does represent getting something that you want, or something that is just as good, that is bringing us fulfillment, happiness, celebration, joy, something to be excited about. This is actually really, really wonderful. I'm really glad to see these cards for the Astronauts Weekly Collective. And if you're just coming in, I am doing the weekly collective for the astronauts. As I mentioned on my post, how about we just consider a weekly collective? And if it goes well, if people like it, I will continue it. If not, we can just throw it away. Doesn't matter. But I figure maybe we should do one. And also the polls are available. I want to know what you guys' go-to outfit is. I'm more of a bit of a fashionista, even though on camera I'm very casual most of the time. But you can look at my old videos. Like I like a little bit alternative. I like a little bit of like fashion. I'm very experimental when it comes to the looks and creativity. So that is where I lie when it comes to that aspect. So let me know where you stand and where you fall on the scale of a go-to outfit. And also, don't forget to look at this week's video. I have done the summer 2025. I'm going to do the fall and winter, but I'm unsure if I should do members only or if I should just wait for next year to do members only. I know that you guys tend to like the monthly readings more. So I did want to experiment with that, but give me your thoughts when it comes to that. And don't forget, if you have any ideas that you want to see on this channel, that I'm very open and welcome to ideas. All you have to do is leave a comment, send me a message. Don't forget, I am more than welcome to hear what you have to say. All right. We also have the Hangman. You know what's interesting about this Hangman and this Nine of Cups energy? Oop, don't know if the camera's focusing, but they're both being serviced by someone. So this week does seem to be a week of being assisted, being helped, being catered to. Someone coming to you in a time of need, in a time where you might need assistance. There is a sense of a helping hand this week for you astronauts. Obviously, the Hangman can be a little bit of an energy that is unpredictable in the sense that it's about letting go. It's about saying, hey, I'm going to just let the universe take the reins. And so there may be that sense of vibe next week. Also, it does represent coming at things from a new perspective, right? So you may even start looking at things from a new perspective, taking on a new role, taking on a new attitude. Very much so in line with the Hangman's energy. But overall, this does seem to be a very reflective week. And this can also represent, especially when we're coming off of the Six of Wands reverse and the Hangman, we're talking about celebrating ourselves or even just having these private victories and feeling a sense of self-confidence in ourselves, and then contemplating our next move, sort of detaching from the things that aren't really beneficial towards us. The Hangman has this energy of let's pause and let's reflect. Let's see what has been good for us and what's been bad for us. And let's figure out a way to move forward, because what the Hangman does is they realize that they've come to a place where that they have had a lot of different experiences, and they just want to take a moment to sit and take everything all in. It's just a matter of what I said earlier. Like, it's been one of those weeks where you just got to just sit, and say, that was a lot. Let me think about how I feel about things. Let me think about what I want to do next. Let me think about my next move and then find a path forward. I do want to say that the Hangman doesn't make huge strides, but it does show that you're coming up with a plan, a new direction, a new perspective, being offered assistance, being offered a sense of comfort. It does seem to be an overall good week for the astronauts, and I love to hear that. I love to see that. So that is what I want to say. That is the weekly read. Come back if that resonates with you. Obviously, this is going to be up on the live playlist. So for those of you who like to listen back and hear this and watch the lives and everything along the lines of that, you will have that weekly reading there for you. And you can let me know if that resonates with you. I love to hear your thoughts and your opinions. All right. So we are all ready. We're all prepped, all shuffled. Let me stretch. All right. I'm just going to shuffle one more time just because we just finished the weekly readings. So if you want to watch those, obviously I keep all the lives up, most of them, unless I'm like, oh man, that one was a little bit editing wise, or like it didn't come out right sound wise, or something went wrong. I won't keep it. But most of the lives are up. I got the Queen of Pentacles come out. I always get her. That's my bestie there. All right, guys. Got the Sun too. I get that card a lot lately too. All right. I'm going to get some water. So I'm going to be right back because I meant to get water. The glass is empty. And let me put be right back in the chat. All right. So I'll be back, guys. Ooh. Ooh. All right, I'm back. I am back. Okay. Sorry for my yawning. Trust me, I have had plenty of rest. Plenty of rest for me. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. If you're coming in, don't forget to answer the polls. Please press the like button. I would appreciate the support. This week's poll is your preference in terms of dress. Unfortunately, we only have 4 options. I'm more of a fashionista. I like to dress up. I find it fun, but you know. And then obviously, I've just finished the weekly readings. If you want to hear it, listen to the playback. And I would love to learn if it is accurate for you in terms of what's coming up next week. It seems like the energy is a lot more positive than this week. This week, we were dealing with things being wrapped up, things coming to a conclusion, us deciding what's for us, what's not for us. There's a little bit that more of that next week, but not as much of it, you know? So that is what I wanted to do, give that little quick recap. And don't forget to watch this week's reading. And if you want to ask a question, feel free to ask me a question. I am ready and willing. And let me know about how your week has been so far. My week has been a little wild. My week's been a little wild. I expected it. Oh, hey, Decio. Am I saying that right? I hope so. How have you been? How's your week been? How are you? Whew. I hope you're well rested. And today I have the After Tarot deck. So you can see the camera will focus. It won't focus on me. On the 7 of Cups, he's chosen something. There we go. So I have the After Tarot deck. We see what happens after on the tarot cards. One of my favorite decks, that and the Before Tarot deck. Now better because I see you. Oh, you're so sweet, Decio. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're here as well. If you're just coming in, I just finished the weekly report for next week, or weekly vibes, whatever you want to call it, to see what's coming up for us astronauts. And don't forget to answer the poll. I'm curious to know you guys' vibes in terms of like your go-to outfits. You know, very curious. As I mentioned, I'm fashionista. My week's been wild, by the way. You know, I feel like I've had 5 weeks in one. You know, all of these transformations have been happening at work, as well as some very sudden events, which I explained in the post. I don't know where I got an accent from, where I explained in the post that I had to like help this stranger out of some sort of emergency situation that they were going through. So much has happened. So much has happened. Hopefully your week was a little bit less calm, but I don't know. There's been a lot of changes. Jupiter went into Cancer in Western astrology. Jupiter went into Ardra today, and also in Vedic astrology. And also at the end of the week, we have Uranus square Mars. So very powerful energy shifts this week. Don't know if you feel them, but I definitely feel the energy shifts with transformations going on in my life personally. There's a strong detachment from things that have no longer generate anything for me. You know, sometimes you get in a situation, you're like, you know what? I think I'm done. I think this chapter is done. That's where I'm at. So let me know where you're at. I don't want to talk about myself all day. That seems so self-absorbed. And let me know if you have a question. You can use Super Chat if you need. You said, I like to see you. You are interesting and discreet. Thank you. I don't think I've ever been called discreet, but I really appreciate that. Very, very nice of you to say, you know. I can't say I've always been discreet, but, you know, sometimes you learn lessons and you're like, yeah, maybe I should open my mouth about every single thing, right? That was one of the lessons I had to learn. And also today's poll is pick a go-to outfit. It shows me frozen. Okay. I don't think I'm frozen anymore. It's my internet. She's in and out. So I swear it didn't used to be this way. And don't forget to share if you would like. I really appreciate any support, you know. All right. But let me know. And then I think, what was I going to say? There was some sort of announcement I wanted to make, but it wasn't that important. It wasn't that important. If I remember it next week when we go live again, I wanted to do a pop-up next week, but next week I have to take an exam. And so I feel like it might be better to spend my time studying a lot. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. I'm currently filming the July readings. So if you have any suggestions on what you would like to see, just let me know. I got to write your name down and give you guys credit, because that is something that I'm slipping up on. And I'm like, oh, please respond so I can give you credit. For some of them, as I was filming my last reading, I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot the person's name who gave me this beautiful idea. So I want to make sure I give them credit and give anyone else credit moving forward. So if you have any ideas, let me know. I have plenty. I have like a list. So far, I think I have 21. Said, you're an interesting woman. I have been observing you for some time now. No, thanks for thinking I'm interesting, you know. I appreciate that. I'm glad I'm not boring. You know, it's better to be interesting and boring, I suppose. Granted, I feel like my life is pretty boring and predictable. You know, I go to work, I go to school. But yeah, if you have a go-to outfit vibe, and if you have something you would like to say, if you resonate with the latest video, if you have a comment, if you want to know more about your summer and what's going to be happening, because I did do a general reading, but obviously the specifics and details might be different for everyone. So let me know what you think, or if you want to expand on that, or if you have a question about any pressing matter in your life, I am more than happy to oblige and to answer. And next week, I want to say that I'm going to go live more than likely on Friday, but we'll see. I know Friday isn't you guys' preferred time. Most of you prefer Monday or Thursday or the weekend, but unfortunately, just because of the schedule and changes for next week and this week, I have to go live on the Friday. Maybe I'll go live a little bit earlier. If that works better for you guys, let me know. I will poll you eventually at some point to get more specific live times of what might be beneficial for you. Obviously, I love seeing you astronauts, and I love having conversations and hearing your stories. And you guys, it feels like such a great community here. So I want to make sure that we're meeting each other. I don't want to pick a terrible time to go live, but yeah, Friday will be next week. He says, you have a positive and intense attitude. Desia, you're full of comments, and I like that. You're very complimentary, so I really appreciate that. That's such a nice thing to say. Oh, let me make sure. Okay. I think I'm sure you have a lot of people in your life who really appreciate you, Decio, because you seem like a very sweet person. And if you don't, you deserve to, for sure. For sure. I'm so happy when I get the opportunity to go live and interact with you all. Hopefully after next week. Well, we'll see, because I have a class that starts. We'll see. The schedule might shift. I just want to give the warning now. The schedule might be, you guys know, during the semester, the schedule is a little bit off with the lives, but I'll still have every video posted Thursday as per usual. I take you out of the routine. Definitely, you're very sweet, It definitely brings more positivity to my life. So I like the compliments. I appreciate them. It's just a nice thing to say, and very kind. It's different. Oh, and if you're coming in, I just finished doing the weekly vibes. I talked about it in my post. This kind of flew out. We got the deaf card. So maybe that's for some of you. Some changes are coming. But what I was going to say is that the vibe next week seems to be a lot more pleasant than the vibe this week. This week was more about closing chapters on a few things. Next week, there's still that reflection when it comes to moving forward. And it seems to me that there's less heaviness going into next week. I feel like I should do you like, okay. I don't know if you finished that sentence. Do I like what thing, Decia? I'm not sure if I got the full sentence. I just want to make sure. But as I was saying, I think things are going to be a little bit better next week. And next week's reading, I hope you all like it. Remember that this month's theme is sort of like emergency messages, urgent messages. Obviously, I'm going to throw in the monthly in the summer because it's summer officially. I believe June, is it June 20th? I believe so. Let me look at the official first day of summer, of the summer solstice. I know some people count Memorial Day weekend, but I don't count that. It's June 20th. I was correct. So I asked if you like to get out of the routine and be surprised. Sometimes I do like to get out of my routine and be surprised for sure. You know, it can be, you know, unexciting to do the same thing all the time. But I will say, I think routine provides a sense of happiness overall. Yeah. I'm glad that you do too, because I think if we live our life in a way that's too restrictive or the same thing over and over again, we don't feel that same sense of fulfillment. It's always better to have something that surprises you or maybe throws a wrench in your plans. Obviously, good surprises are better than bad ones, but even the bad ones you can learn from. So that can be good in the long run. But I'm glad you feel the same way. Maybe that'll be next week's question. Like, do you like to be surprised? Yes or no? And we can see. Because I know some people don't like to be surprised at all. Which is very interesting, you know. I think it might have to do with more anxiety, which I understand. But let me know, anyone, if you have a question. I do have my After Tarot deck. It talks about shows the pictures of what happens after you see a woman. She's checking on the person resting. Actually, this looks more so like a funeral here, because she's placing a flower on the bed. Just make sure you see that. The camera wants to focus on my face. So got to get used to the new camera. Got the Page of Swords in here. And this week's poll, if you're interested, is your go-to outfit vibe: athleisure, comfy cute, fashionista glamour, or something that's a bit like alternative. I wish there were more options because there's so many different styles, but these are the ones that I was thinking of. Me too, something different, unexpected, or being surprised gives us an immense pleasure. Agreed. You know, so if somebody wants to surprise me with a trip overseas, I would be happy. You're so right. It's always really nice when you have a good surprise. I appreciate it. Even small ones. Like, I was going through and cleaning out my old purses, and I found a dollar, and that's a small thing, but I was just like, oh, a surprise dollar I had in my purse. It's really small. I can't buy anything. I don't know anything that costs a dollar. Maybe some places water, maybe, depending. Like if somebody's selling it on the side of the street. But I was still happy with that small surprise. You said interesting. Me too. The part about the dollar, or the part about the trip. But if you're coming in, I am taking questions. And also, don't forget to watch the latest reading, Summer 25, to see what's coming up for you. You can even go back and look at the Spring 2025 reading to see if you really resonated with it. I'm definitely curious to know your experiences, especially with the readings, and if they were accurate for you, or what your experience was like. And you can feel free to talk about whatever you would like to talk about, whatever's relevant to you. Oh, and don't forget to like and share. Obviously, I got to promote myself like every other YouTuber. It helps with growth, and it helps to sustain the channel ultimately. And the cards are flying, so the energy is different. We got the 2 of Wands and the 10 of Swords. Maybe that's a specific message for someone where they're looking to move past something tragic. I'm guessing because we have this 10 of Swords here. There may have been some things that they needed to let go mentally of. Some anxieties too. 10 of Swords definitely is like, oh, let me put these emotions to rest. I'm moving on to something better. I'm looking towards something better. I'm looking towards something brighter. I like surprises that make me happy and lighter. Same. Yeah. Even if it's small, doesn't really matter. If it's a good surprise, it's always welcomed. How would you feel about surprise parties? I don't know if I would like a surprise party though, even though it's like more celebratory. Understand. I'm glad we're on the same page here. I wonder if I can move my camera a little bit, but just to adjust it. All right, there we go. There we go. I feel like you should get a little bit more of my head. You are smart. Of course, you understand. Thank you. You're smart too. I feel like a lot of people who watch my channel are very smart and very intuitive. More down. Can't. Oh. But I feel as though I have a very positive community who I really enjoy and appreciate. All right. I'm going to give this a few more minutes to see if anyone comes in and wants a reading. And then I'll close out a little early. This piece of hair is doing its own thing. Okay. Just to see. So I'll give it, I guess, 6 more minutes. I'll give it 6 more minutes. Adds to the heat of the heat of the environment. I'm not sure what you mean, Decia. Now I'm thinking. But yes, if anyone wants a reading, feel free to come through. Feel free to answer the polls. And don't forget to like, share, tell me how your week has been, etc. And I will be out in a few more minutes. And I'll be here next Friday just because that's the best day that works. But I'll try to pop up Monday because I know a lot of people like Monday. And What else do I want to say? Trying to think if there's anything else, any announcements, anything coming through. No, I don't have any plans that are transforming, but I'll keep you guys updated on any changes that may be coming. Can you believe it is June 13th already? But it is good. As to the heat of the moment, but it is good. Oh, for the surprise party. Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true. It can be a good thing. For me, I feel like that would scare me if someone threw me a surprise party. All right. Making sure the cards are the right way. I think I saw a card that was in a different direction. I can't find it. All right. Whew. I definitely need to fix my AC though. All right. A few more minutes. Then we close this out. The live will still be there. So I imagine the party very good. Yeah, it might be. It might be. I'll keep myself open to the idea. Oops, it's getting blurry. Anyway. I'm just trying to imagine the surprise party. I think it would throw me off for sure. I saw that video one time where the woman, I think she took her husband to a grocery store and it was like all people that he knew. And he was like, what is going on? I think that something like that I would like, but just like walking into a room and everyone screaming surprise, I think that would give me a heart attack. I think that would give me an absolute heart attack. But I like that idea she had to just, let's go get groceries. And then he sees everyone he knows in different aisles and different parts of the grocery store. And then they have a party in the grocery store. I thought that video was very cute. You're being modest. You know what you're worth. I'm not. I mean, for me, I really would think that would scare me. Oh, and if you're coming in, let me know what your plans are for Father's Day. If you have any. I know Mother's Day is more highlighted and more celebrated. I feel like moms do a little bit more most of the time, not all of them, but in a general bell curve, I feel like moms do a little bit more, and so they get a little bit more love. But me personally, I love my dad too. So I'm like, I gotta do something good for him. Speaking of surprises, right? Gotta figure out what I'm gonna surprise him with. All right, we have a few seconds left. So I do want to say that thank you, Decio, for all the compliments. And I will be back next week on Friday. I may pop up Monday, so that is tentative. And don't forget to watch the reading next week. This month's theme is emergency messages. I will come with a new poll question for you guys to see what you like and what you're up to. I have a few poll questions I want to ask. And also, if you have any ideas on the readings you want to see, don't forget to comment. Don't forget to throw your opinion in there. I would love to hear it. Right now, I'm filming the July readings, and I would love your input. And that is what I want to say for now as we come to a close for the live sessions. And thank you all for participating. For those of you who stopped by, thank you. And just these cards are coming out. Justice and the King of Pentacles here. I'm going to leave this up. You're having a huge impact on me. I can't say still. Okay, Desio. Thanks. Thanks, I think. But that is what I wanted to say for now. I'll see you all next week. And that's it. All right. Bye.